Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Yeah, Wednesday night AMA. We are back. We are glad you here today. Woo, baby. Fizzle getting us fired up. And Adam out here rocking the CD lamb. Oh, look at him
Come
go.
on, Fizzle.
Look
Come on, Fizzle. Listen, man, you'll see why in a minute, but it feels good coming into the Fizzle intro, rocking, the CD gear. I won't lie. Mike with the Eagles hat, feels good.
Is what it is. And we split the series, and we both went home in the first round. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it turned into
trash.
it turned into something that nobody really needed to see at all, right?
Yeah, trash division. We'll see how next year goes. See, there he is. He's in here.
Hi. What up now? We got Patty Mills in the
everybody's doing
building.
good.
We got Patty Mills. We got Genji. We got Ethan, Daniel Walker. We got Mystic Flame. What's going on, everybody, man? I love Mystic Flame's fucking emblem.
Sometimes it feels like Genji's trolling me, but then he posts that, right? One QB 8-team leagues aren't real. So you're back in, man. I love you again.
Mike, you know how it goes, man. So, with some people, it's a love-hate thing, right? It just depends on the day. Depends on the comment sometimes even.
They do. One of my arch rivals, we're working out something. We're going to do a little content together. Maybe this Friday. So.
Your arch rivals? Oh, boy.
Yeah. Xbox.
Oh,
Xbox.
Okay. All right. Well,
we're going to break down some film. I think we're going to do Marv first.
That's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous.
Little cut-ups, little all-22.
I'm getting ready to talk about film from a different lens on a podcast here soon. I love this, though. You and Xbox, huh? What a collab.
Yeah. Look at that.
All the people in Savage that are going to be so confused with you guys, being buddies when you do this fucking review, right?
Everybody thinks we hate each other.
Oh,
he's an A+ level troll. That's about it.
How could you think How could you think anything other than that? I mean, you got if you just were to be privy to the conversations that go back and forth in Savage and you didn't really know, you'd think that you hate each other. Absolutely.
It's interesting too. I don't know. Maybe it's just me and the way I handle it. We saw a lot of Twitter drama in the fantasy space this week, in the last couple of days. I don't really have an opinion either way, but some people really get in their feels about this, one way or the other. And I don't know about you, Adam, but I just remind myself it's the internet. It ain't fucking real. Done. Log off. Right? To be completely honest, I go kill time, man. There's plenty of stuff for me to do. Play games, update breaks, just do whatever the fuck I want. Watch some TV.
I wish there wasn't the alternative, Mike. I wish there was more time, but shoot, when I'm messing around, there's always something that could be done that I'm putting off.
Sure.
Speaking of which, Mike, let's stop putting it off, man. You saw the thumbnail, Dynasty Startup Values.
Startup Value.
Let's talk about, let's just get right over to it, buddy. All of a sudden, we're real small down here and a couple of balls on screen,
I'm a hairy ball. Very hairy.
But let's discuss this, man. This is one we're in. Mike, you want to go ahead and talk through some of the settings, and I figured we'll just walk through some of the settings, people in the league, where we were at, who we took, and kind of give some discussion on an actual startup with some money on the line.
So 12-team super flex, no positions though, so you don't have to start running back, tight end, whatever. It's all flex.
Let's see if I can.
All flex.
Let's see if I can actually give you that.
I think it's start 11 total.
Yeah, it's 11. Start 11, right?
Start 11 total. pretty basic settings, 6-point passing touchdowns. There is a bonus for receptions for running backs of 0.5 over their standard 1 point. Wide receivers get 0.25 bonus, and tight ends get 0.75. So not a real high tight end premium at the end of the day because the other positions are boosted up too.
Start 12. So start 12 we got.
Start 12. All right. This was made by our good friend Kevin Bach. Bachridge, my guy. So, I remember last year, right? He kept hitting me up. Hey, you want to do startup? You want to do startup? And I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth to do anything but best ball. He's like, I am really too into it. I think this is like my fourth one that he sent me an invite for. And I'm like, good, buddy. You run them. I'll play in them. Let's go.
Yeah, we had Mike, you know what's crazy is I had Cooper run some numbers. I'll go over them maybe another time. But as far as best ball dynasty goes, Mike, we're looking at about double right now compared to a year ago. Actually, less than a year ago. From last April to right now in January, we're looking at almost double the amount of people playing dynasty best ball as compared to before in sleeper league. So
man,
it's growing, man. It's growing.
It's the way. No offense to lineup. There's some skill to lineup, setting lineups, just not for me, man. I like to have a billion leagues and not have to worry about Sundays.
Dynasty, new people playing Dynasty, the amount of people has also doubled from lineup too. So it's not like people aren't playing Dynasty. It's just we like best ball over here, you know.
All the fish.
But
hopefully
anyway,
we can help you be not fish.
Mike, so let's kind of walk through real quick before we get to questions, like how this board kind of fell. We can compare a little bit with ADP on South Harmon ADP, but ultimately like where we took stuff and maybe kind of go through some things that look troublesome, like this is really early for a player like that or pick and vice versa.
The first one that stood out to me was the CJ Stroud at 2. Not a big fan. I understand it. Keep Trade Cut has him ranked pretty high, as far as what the community feels. Just watched a YouTube short actually from our friends over at Dynasty Trades in 5. Shane talking about taking him at the 103. Completely understand it, just not for me. Eric and I talked about it on America's Game. Comes out tomorrow. Little promo there. We went deep dive into quarterback ranks, me and him, and had a lot of good discussions. But too rich for my blood. Not quite in that tier 1 yet for me. Tier 2 guy, but not quite in tier 1. Right? I'd rather have Mahomes or Hurts.
Now, just to clarify though, you have him as your 104, correct?
I do not. He's actually a little bit lower.
Okay, where do you have 106? Okay, so who do you have then? So your first tier is Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts. Is that correct?
There you go.
And then who in the next tier is CJ Stroud's in tier 2, I assume, correct?
Lamar and Burrow.
Okay, interesting. All right.
So here's a differentiator for people who are like Burrow, blah blah blah. I've seen Burrow get close to 40 passing touchdowns and 5,000 yards, multiple seasons now, right? If you're not going to do it with your legs, which we talked about on 40 is like the ultimate tiebreaker for quarterbacks in Superflex leagues for me, that elite floor, lifting it up, rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, which CJ Stroud is not. He is mobile, but I think it was sub 200 yards he ran for this year. Let's not act like it was crazy. Joe Burrow runs for just as many yards, just as many touchdowns, if not more, and has that 5,000 yard, 40 touchdown appeal, kind of like Patrick Mahomes, like diet Patrick Mahomes. So if that's differentiate, especially in a 6-point passing touchdown, that's kind of where I want to go, right? I want the dudes with legs who have that high floor, and then I want the guys who could hit 5,000 yards and 40 tutties. And Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase and whatever the hell they surround him with, whether it's T. Higgins back or they draft somebody or bring somebody in or whatever the case is, that's a hell of a connection, right? And that offense has been balling every time those guys are on the field. So that's why I put Burrow ahead of him. Lamar, the case, right? Lamar, he's that dude. He's just not tier 1. But CJ Stroud right after him, though. I couldn't argue past them, too much lower. Okay. The hype is pretty good. One of the other things about CJ Stroud, he had a great rookie year, but let's not get it twisted and think he had a Justin Herbert level rookie year. I mean, there's 5 fantasy points per game difference between the two. So CJ Stroud never broke that 20 points per game threshold where I'm like, oh shit, right? Herbert was at 23. when he did it in his rookie year. So 20 points per game is a pretty big threshold, too, for being an elite quarterback. So I have him down a little bit farther than consensus, kind of been a sell. Not like I have to get rid of CJ Stroud. He's really nice, really, really nice. But if this is the price, right, if he's going to go 102, 103, I'd be doing myself a disservice to see if I couldn't get a Joe Burrow plus or a Lamar plus or trade down into a Rich plus, Kyler Murray plus, like something like that. So that's where I'm at with CJ Stroud. So to see him go at 2, I was like, I get it, but not for me.
Yeah, I got him at 104. I have him in tier 2. Like, I would say this, right? I don't think CJ Stroud is going to be somebody that's like hurting you that much. I do agree I wouldn't have taken him at 102. Because I think right now the reason I have him at 104 especially is I think the hype right now during this time of year gives you a flexibility to do a lot with the CJ Stroud. I'll just, real quickly, we're going to have to get off of this, go back to the other screen, and we'll be back, don't worry. But, Mike, rules are rules, buddy, you know.
Rules are rules.
We got Super Chat. So Trevor says, 12-team, start 11, Superflex best ball, half-point tight end premium. So very similar to that startup board we're on. Honestly, you can almost keep it over there. But came out of my first best ball startup with Herbert, Danny Dimes, the 101, the 103, the 105, half the draft from 201 on, and he's got 325s. That's part 1. Also got an extra 26 first. Okay. This is part 2, and this must be part 3. In best ball, how many quarterbacks should I try to acquire with my first 3 picks? He says normally in lineup I would take Marv and Neighbors, and then take whatever's left over at quarterback at 105. So back to this point, he's asking how many quarterbacks in the best ball format would you be willing to take here with these picks?
I'd be willing to take them all and be an asshole and QB hoard. If you're not comfortable, you don't think you can get it done in your league, obviously don't do that. But the first thing that stands out to me, too, we were going to get into it on that one. Then the next pick that kind of surprised me is Herbert. I'm not as high on Herbert.
Yeah.
Just with the Jim Harbaugh signing and the cap hell that they're in and their old weapons and their bust and Quentin Johnston. He still carries incredible dynasty value. He went at 5 in our draft. I imagine
Mr.
you probably
J-Cap,
took him.
the lab, if you will.
Yeah, I imagine you probably took him pretty high, too. Like, that would be one where, shit, I'd probably look and explore and see what people would give me for Herbert, right? Because it's a big name. And see if you can get anywhere close to that 3 first value. And if you could, then I just add to my treasure trove, and I'm going to roll out Daniel Jones, whoever the hell I take at 103 or 101 if it's a quarterback, and the 105 guy. And this is what the team I'm going to have, plus all this extra draft capital I have, all these young rookies. And Dimes isn't like really a move candidate because ain't nobody giving you shit for him.
He actually got Herbert at the 111. I was going to say, because if you got the 101, if you got Herbert at the turn at the back end, like where I was drafting actually at the 111, Mike, Herbert's a smash there, and you get the 101 at the 202 would be. I like that a lot. To your point you just made, though, I don't love it at the 105, frankly. If you're telling me like Chase and Jefferson are gone and then Herbert's your pick at 111, I kind of like that quite a bit. Regardless, though, to answer your question, the Super Chat, I am willing to take all 3. I'm probably going to do this, right? I think at 101, you obviously create your own destiny. I'd be fine trading out of 101 to get to 102 if that's possible. In best ball, I'd even be willing to at 104 if someone wants to come up and get it. So my thing is, if you end up making that pick, you're kind of determining, are you taking a quarterback or not at 101, right? I have no problem taking Marv at 101, given the fact that you have 103 and 105 if you wanted to do that, even in best ball. I'm fine doing that and then saying, you tell me what you want to do, right? If they take Caleb, cool. I'll take Jaden Daniels, assuming the draft capital's there. I think you could also decide if you wanted to take 2 receivers and then take another quarterback at 105. I got no problem doing that. If you wanted to take Marv and you wanted to take Malik, and then at 105 you want to see what's left over. At worst, you're getting your pick of Jaden Daniels or Drake May. So I'm fine doing a multitude of things here. I think the main thing you got to do is not really like decide something right now. Let these picks basically be something people can come get again. You have so much value built up, and you're probably, with all the draft capital you've acquired, like not the strongest guaranteed locked-in team. I'm not saying you have to punt this year, but like if the right deals come along, this is a team that you could just have set up to win, to be like in Titletown mix for years if you play this right, man, right now.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job in the startup here, just acquiring assets. It's best
Absolutely.
ball. And it's the time of the season. People want to build contenders, and they want to fill their running backs, and they want to fill their tight ends, and they want to set themselves up for September. The best way you could set yourself up for fucking September is just having all this treasure trove of like, yes, this is shit people are gonna want, other than Daniel Jones.
Right. I mean, Daniel Jones.
Not that
He's
that's bad. I got a lot of fucking Daniel Jones on my teams.
I was just gonna say,
here,
in
just
best ball
because he's
formats,
fucking dirt cheap.
yeah, in best ball formats, you just take him at value and let it ride, right? It's funny, Mike. I was at the 8-11. I took Stafford, and I was kind of hoping like Dimes might make it back to me. I didn't expect him to go there at the 8-12. I was hoping I'd get him at 9-02, but I didn't.
Right.
Anyway, to your point, Herbert goes earlier than the 111 here. Probably a little early for both of us. I like Herbert quite a bit still, but I don't think I'm taking him ahead of Lamar right now for sure. And I don't know. Burrow is I'd probably still lean Burrow, but I don't hate it taking ahead of Burrow necessarily as much. I personally put him more like A-Rich territory for myself,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So then we Mike are doing something that you haven't seen us probably do ever collectively in a startup, right?
No.
Justin Jefferson is your pick at 109, and I take CD, as Fizzle would say, CD GOAT at 111.
I had a hard debate between Jefferson and A-Rich. I didn't think Jefferson was going to be there, so the chase before J-Jets was like, what the? Okay.
Yeah, that one is pretty wild to see him go first receiver off the board, right?
Yeah. I was like, all right, well, I probably got a little excited, and I was like, just run to the podium, hit Jefferson. Don't even fucking think about it, boy.
I think that gave you like so much ability to do either. You could still take A-Rich, which was probably your potential plan if it was Jefferson was gone, but
Yep.
how could you be mad at getting Jefferson at the 109, right?
Right. I was kind of shocked then to see you pull the trigger on CD, but he's GOAT.
Well,
GOAT.
Mike, it was once you did that, and where the 111 for me strategically, I picked, right, and the reason was I knew I would get one of those three receivers, which I do now have CD in the same tier as those other guys, or A-Rich, and I was just going to take the take whatever fell to me.
Left.
Yeah, that's what it was going to be, unless there was some surprise pick like T-Law went ahead or something, and then I have a decision to make. But that was pretty easy.
You had to be absolutely fucking thrilled, though, on the turn, right? The 101 didn't go.
Well, that was what I was going to say, Mike. The only thing that was in consideration was the 101 versus CD, right? And so I was like, man, like I think I'm just going to take CD because I don't really know, but I really thought about the 101, and I totally assumed it was going to be gone. And when it wasn't gone, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. At 202, I just
Gotta do it.
Don't think I could hit it quick enough, you know?
Yeah. I was kind of sad then the 102 went. I didn't think Mohawk was going to go that direction, but he got me. But 103 is a nice pick. We'll go ahead and smash that.
Love this super chat. In best ball, how do you balance ADP warp spike weeks? Cheeky, I'll tell you what, man. As we get through this, I promise you, we're gonna answer that question. And then we're gonna get to everybody else's questions. But it's a very good super chat, so I appreciate it, Cheeky. We will get to that. Don't worry. All right, so Mike, for me, right, like at this point, and to the question he's asking, the reason I take 101 is it just it's so much flexibility, man. CD is still a young, exciting receiver that gives me the warp and the spike weeks, and 101 is just. I think if I was to have a chance to trade into the tiers ahead of me that I didn't get a chance to draft, 101 gives me that ability to do it pretty light additional. So, and then as you see, the tier is pretty clear, right? 102 goes, you take 103. I doubt there was much decision for you taking 103, no. Right?
No.
Then 104 actually goes ahead of Bijan, which at least for me was interesting. I'm not saying it's wrong, by the way. I'm just saying that was, we were talking about last year, Bijan 101, there's no way. And then to think that the 104 and picks, not even players, would go ahead, that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
Next thing I saw, Mike, here was Puka at 208. And, man, you talk about a guy that is just absolutely seismically rise. The only thing that's going ahead of him besides the top four receivers in the receiver position is possibly, like Marv or Neighbors if they go in the top four picks. So, right. I mean, you're talking about a top six receiver pretty easily, and it's distinguishably different from the next pick, which is the the rookie pick, 301 possibly, or then Garrett Wilson at 304.
Yeah. That one, when I picked at 304, I got to ask you about your Gibbs pick.
Okay.
Like, what was it about Gibbs? I took the 10 or the 105 went, then you took Gibbs, and I took Garrett Wilson. So you had the choice of like 106, Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, that kind of stuff. What made you go Jahmyr?
Yeah, so good question actually. For me, like I was between, okay, do I take Tyreek right now and just say like, man, I'm going to just kind of get warp hammers, right? Do I take Garrett Wilson, who gives me more like youth flexibility? I felt like Gibbs and Wilson and Tyreek were all well above the next pick. As you can see, it doesn't go for quite some time, which was honestly crazy how far it didn't go. But the reason I ended up taking Gibbs, I think it's a combination of his value at this point for me is, I think right now, you could tell me right now if you wanted your pick of Bijan and Gibbs, I'm not going to fight you. Like if you have them basically as the same thing. And I think seeing that Breece Hall was off the board, Gibbs is the one I think that could be in the second round in startups. And I think right now, Garrett Wilson, while flexibility-wise, if I was to get stuck with him, I don't know that I love the warp upside for him points per game. Whereas Gibbs gives me that and gives me some youth flexibility. Tyreek Hill, once again, doesn't give me that in the offseason. He's a guaranteed hold. So if that makes sense, it kind of, I felt like, was the potential of best warp and flexibility to stay flexible here in this draft. And I think the answer to the question, Cheeky, kind of is in the Gibbs question you just asked me. Every single time I'm on the clock, I'm asking myself the combination of, do I just lock in a warp hammer like Tyreek Hill that I have to hold? Do I want to be more flexible and stay with a guy like Gibbs or a guy like Garrett Wilson and have more tradability? Because the more you take just warp hammers and spike week chase, if there's age attached to that, that gives you less and less opportunity to really trade until we get later into the, July at minimum, probably closer to August. So I was trying to keep myself flexible for trading purposes.
Yeah, kind of the same thing at Garrett Wilson. My same thought process was I like Tyreek more from points per game, obviously. I like A.J. Brown from points per game. But both of those are on the older side with a little bit more question marks, less people in the league potentially to trade for them if I decide to go that route. So in the quarterbacks, like all the quarterbacks that I wanted or felt comfortable with the other part of the third were gone, right? Like I'm kind of locking myself into chasing everybody else at the QB spot.
Yep.
And I'm going, well, fuck it. We'll just take Garrett Wilson. He's got a lot of hype and steam, and A-Rod's coming back, and look what he did with Zach Wilson, that kind of thing. So maybe I'll be able to sell somebody on that if I want to pivot off of him. So that's kind of how I balance the warp and the spike weeks, because Garrett Wilson definitely ain't it from the warp perspective, like you said.
Right.
Ain't it from the spike weeks, at least based on last year. You really got to do some projecting, like him improving a little bit more to kind of get up in that elite tier. But the hype is definitely there. The dynasty value is definitely there. So that's why I went Garrett Wilson there, which is a big pivot from like how I used to do this, right? I'm like, fuck Garrett Wilson, man. Fuck these wide receivers,
Yeah.
I'm going to build a monster right out the gate, but I wanted to stay as flexible as possible without sacrificing dynasty value. So if nobody's trading me for this pick, that's what I'm doing.
Tyler quickly says with the super chat, we, by the way, appreciate that, Tyler. Yeah, not many trades. We had 2 trades in the startup. Deep Sea traded the 1204 and the 1709 for the 1207 and the 1706. Literally, he just traded up a couple spots in a swap for his guy, which was Romeo Dubs. We don't have time to discuss that being your guy, but neither here nor there. Anyway, the other trade is a 707 to the 710, and they swapped a 25-second for a 4th. So that was actually a pretty pricey move up from 710 to 707, but not much trading, man. I was, in a couple DMs and didn't really get close, so I just kept making picks. Anyway, Mike, as I'm looking through this here, I just wanted to touch on A.J. Brown getting all the way at the 309, though. It kind of feels like right now the recency bias for him is getting to a little bit too far of a point, if I'm being completely honest. Like,
right.
This is a guy that was going crazy, 6 games of over 125 in a row, right? And like,
yep.
Because he's finished the way he does, it's like we're starting to treat him like maybe there's some leprosy coming, right? Like this guy's going to be getting too old and his knee problems are back and he's toxic. I get all that, man.
Mike Doc right there with the stack too, stacking him with Hurts, who we got gifted at the 4.
You know he had to be just like, there's no way he med it to me. So
it's just real life.
Yeah, that's a pinch me moment. I don't. Anything else stand out with you? The first like 4 or 5 rounds in particular. Did it go about the way you thought here, or is there anything that really stood out these next couple rounds? It did.
I mean, the rookies went hard and fast there early, right? Mm-hmm. 1 through 5 within the first 25 picks. You're like, oh Jesus, we're not going to get a lot of values here later. And then it really cooled off, right? There was a lot of guys in that 4th round where it was like, fuck, this is deep. Like, I can't justify the 106 or in passing on one of these guys, right?
Yeah.
But I went Drake London. I had the debate on JSN. Like, do I just go JSN here? Like fucking 103 Jefferson, Garrett Wilson JSN start? That's fucking pretty tasty to me. But I like the upside, at least in my opinion, of Drake London because of the situation change and potential quarterbacks. So I was like, oh, fuck it. We'll go Drake London. Of course, you follow suit. You go JSN. And then we mirror each other in the fucking 5th round. You take the 106, and I'm like, 106, 107, same shit. Might as well follow suit here. Take the draft picks because in the 5th round, that felt like value getting mid first in the 5th round of a startup.
I'll be honest, Mike. I really, really strongly was thinking JSN, but just seeing how the draft was kind of going and seeing the way NV Army right on the turn, by taking that 11 spot and wanting to secure, the guys I had there, not get 112. Like now I got to sit on the turn, and that always sucks because there's 2 guys that you could get sniped on when you do that, right? And for some reason, Mike, I felt like no matter what I did, I was going to get sniped. But I felt like there was a better chance the pick made it through, seeing how long the picks hadn't. And I was really, truly shocked to get 106. Mike, because I think with 106, right now Rome is being considered the 1C in the class, right? If you call it that. So you go Marv,
right.
Neighbors, and then Rome. And if that's the case, you're telling me I'm getting that guy at the 106 and it's in the 502? Especially with this young build that I'm starting with, I was ecstatic, frankly.
Right, and I like the possibility too because you're talking about it. I'm not a big J.J. McCarthy fan, but say he gets top 15 NFL draft capital, all of a sudden I'm like walking into potentially a quarterback at 3 and now a quarterback at the 7, and I'm going, okay, good thing I went all these wide receivers and started filling this with young upside talent to pair with my 2 potential young quarterbacks. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm filling all my flex spots with fucking elite upside wide receivers, and I'm like, okay, I could take that, right?
Yeah,
I could take this value bump because people are going to want them at some point when they do something really good.
Yeah. So then, Mike, so that happens right in the 5th. The 108 goes right after you, and then another lull here where I think it makes sense, frankly, where these picks are going and the players here. Not a lot here that really stood out to me. Baker at the 512, though, I will admit, was like, okay, Allen, my man, love you, but wow, that is
conviction.
You must really believe Baker's back. And I mean, if Baker's back, Mike, if we saw that Baker that was in Tampa this year, like, be consistently that good, I can get on board with it a lot more. I just wasn't expecting to see him go that high. But when it comes back to me, Mike, I'm curious. You take Jake Elliott, the 108, okay? Right? When it comes back to you?
Yep, the 109.
I'm sorry, the 109. That's right. Yep. The 109. And that's where now at the 110, Mike, I was like, I don't know if I love it. So I'm torn between Jaden Reed and Saquon here at the 6'11". And part of me was saying, like, Saquon doesn't necessarily fit the youth thing, but I just feel like, man, if there's a chance to get a running back that could go somewhere else or just be a complete stud, it's him. And if there was a guy I felt like could age well, it'd be him to pair with Gibbs. But I wanted to stay youthful, and I went with Jaden Reed, thinking that Barkley might have a chance to come back to me. He did not, so I ended up taking the 110. Curious your thoughts there, if you would prefer Barkley to Jaden Reed, even with the youth.
Nope, I would have gone Jaden Reed too. I would have stuck with the wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like the right play. Reed, to me, we talked about on something else this week that, like, I'm really bullish on him, but I'm willing to admit that I see the scenario where he's not able to get the full amount of snap share, and there's some concern. Now, Mike, I just want to talk about this, right? So now you have, I got the 110 there. You get the 112, all right? When it comes back, you'll see us start to pivot away from the young stuff, right? And
yes,
you go with Kelsey at the 809, which you don't even have to start a tight end, but points per game and just at that value, you couldn't pass on it.
Right.
I took Matt Stafford. Then I take Chris Godwin. You take Terry McLaurin. You end up taking, what is that now, the 203 or 4?
I can pull it up. That's why we got the lab.
That's the lab. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And then Mike, I took Geno Smith, and the reason I wanted to get through these, and we can go through and just touch a couple things before we get to question.
206 was what the pick mid-second.
I just want to talk about this briefly for me, and then I'll ask you your opinion of why you did what you did. So Stafford at the 8-11, Mike, I was really hoping to kind of get dimes at the 8-12. I didn't. But then Geno to me, like over a full round later, it's almost 2 rounds later, I'm like, all right. The reason I felt like I wanted to do that, Mike, is it gave me, you remember, see all that purple up there that I have, right? I got the 101, I've got the 106, and I got the 110. Mike, I felt like it gave me a lot more flexibility with what I wanted to do in the picks versus having to make a decision. I've got 2 quarterbacks. I don't feel obviously I don't feel the rosiest about Matt Stafford or Geno Smith, right? But adding them to my room, I don't feel like I have to go force Caleb or Jaden Daniels or whatever at 101 if I can't trade out of the pick. I don't have to take, one of the quarterbacks if they're left at the 106. And at 110, especially if I don't feel like I have to reach on a quarterback that maybe has back-end first-round draft capital or second-round draft capital. I'm not actually sure if we're doing this pre or post NFL draft. That would be massively different. But
Post.
Okay. So that'll be a lot easier for me at the 110. But I felt like to answer the question that Cheeky posed to us, like actually by doing that and taking Stafford and Geno, it gave me like more flexibility when we do the rookie draft. So I don't know if for you, Kelsey and McLaurin were anything there. If at this point, I mean, you look at all this purple, by the way, Mike's just going pick hoarding at this point. You took, what did you take?
Kind of got forced. Got forced, to be completely honest, because I took Kelsey. A lot of the same sentiments you had, but a lot of it is like, all right, if I get stuck with Kelsey and he's playing next year, I got an elite, there's not a lot of tight ends in a non-startable tight end league that are going to be fucking worth it. Kelsey would be one.
Correct.
Right? If my team doesn't really fit the bill, then boom, I can trade Kelsey if he's playing. Also, I had that conversation. What if he retires after the Super Bowl, right? The whole, does he propose to Taylor Swift on the field after a Super Bowl win and right off into the sunset? If it happens, it's fucking 8th round. I burn the pick. There's just as risky guys in there, not because they're going to retire, but because they could be shitty, right? Like Josh Downs went in there. Josh Jacobs went in there, right? Christian Watson, we missed them all fucking season, right? They could be zeros because they just suck, right? So it's the same kind of risk, but the upside I felt was a little bit greater. What I really wanted to do, Adam, is the shit that you did, and I didn't count on you doing it and NV Army doing it.
Them running backs?
Because I wanted to take Kelsey and then come back, and instead of McLaurin, it was going to be a Stafford or a Geno Smith type, right? And do the exact same thing you talked about. And then on the way back, I'm like, all right, now I definitely pick in front of Adam. He doesn't know that I just did this shit, so if Daniel Jones makes it back or Geno Smith makes it back in that round I picked before him, or I picked before these guys at the end, I'll take another fucking quarterback in the 10th round, and all of a sudden I'm in the position that you are, right? Where it's like, okay, I got a few quarterbacks locked up, boom. But once you guys took Stafford and Daniel Jones, I'm like, well, fuck it. Who's the best available on the board, at least for potential value I could flip to a contender? Because my quarterback room is now going to be ass, or going to be relying on rookies, best case scenario. Terry McLaurin. Maybe I could sell somebody on hey, they drafted Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and they hired, at the time when we were doing this, it looked like Ben Johnson was going to be the head coach. And I'm like, I could sell somebody on this offense, fuck yeah, I get off Terry, but didn't work that way. So as soon as I figured out I was fucked, it's like, well, let's just take draft picks, man. Everybody else taking vets. All the quarterbacks I really wanted are fucking gone. I'm not going to rely on Derek Carr or Kenny Pickett.
Right.
Those would have been like nice second quarterbacks or third quarterback possibilities here in this round. I'm not going to rely on one as QB1, so fuck this. I'm just going to lean into the rookie picks, and we'll try to move Kelsey and McLaurin and whoever the fuck else vets I get later to contender, see what happens. But
yeah.
I love the strategy you talked about when you laid it out for Cheeky, because I've done this in multiple startups that you haven't been in, especially sitting here at the back end is, is take those guys. I think I fucking laid it out to you too, where I'm like, look at this, I got fucking Dimes and Russ in the 9th and the 10th round or whatever it was.
Mike, there's 2 things there that I think you can do, and it's what you and I both did. and I think the reality is, like, for me, I would rather have the couple older crusty quarterbacks and not have to feel like I'm forced to just kind of punt the season, right? Or like reach on somebody that's going to give me nothing, right? Like you talk about Pickett, guys past then. I mean, you're talking just gross. Derek Carr. Or like if I don't take him at all and just like punt for a season to get an early pick and lock up quarterbacks next year, one, I don't feel that great about this class. And two, like I don't want to, if I don't have to, not be able to be in the mix to start up. Because like if you just roster construct appropriately, I think a team even young like this, without making trades, which I plan to make plenty, you can get into the playoffs. And then if your team's deep enough, even with a young team in year one, you see if you have a chance to win. And you're really building more so for the following year versus though in years past, Mike, I would not take a Stafford or a Geno and I would just like go into it with a rebuild approach. And I kind of give myself a missed window on seeing if other teams all build right. You know, like sometimes teams don't build right in these type of leagues, and you have a chance to kind of walk into the playoffs and have a chance to win. So for me, it just made sense to play the flexible card here. And then I ended up, Mike, I kind of backfilled with some running backs at the end there that are gross and old. But hell, man, like now I kind of have this mix of young, and at that point, like we're talking 12th, 13th round. If I burn a whole pick, like obviously you don't want to burn a 13th round pick, but if Eckler lands somewhere, Henry lands somewhere, even if he's back, I could see those guys being values warp-wise there. So I think every single time on the clock for me, it's answering like what do I feel comfortable with. Do I want to take this rookie pick? Do I want to take this youth guy with the opportunity to move? Or do I want to just hold and think this is too much of a value to pass on? That's kind of the way that I'm approaching my startups at this point, especially these first 13 rounds. We can get into other picks later, but at this point, I think let's get back into questions. I just wanted to see if there was any teams or any specific picks or players that were like crazy standouts before we go back to the other screen.
There wasn't too many. I mean, you touched on like the Baker one for Allen. Like I'd be interested to hear what his thoughts were. I thought it was a little bit early, maybe QB chasing a little bit. We touched on some of the first round stuff. Some people got incredible values, right? Like Deep Sea getting Russ there in the 8th round. Like that one kind of just kicked me right in the balls too, because that was another potential quarterback target.
You were taking him at 809, weren't you? One of them.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of guys too where I was like, I didn't plan on them taking a third quarterback, but you got to remember these are also people who sat in that QB horde stop a league and watched the shit show that Slim No fucking. Listen,
I was just gonna say that.
Just so we don't get it twisted, I was not the QB hoarder. All right, it was Slim No. He did the whole fucking thing.
I think that's what influenced Allen to take that though, because if you think about it too, Mike, really,
right?
With him at the 512 and 601. By the time that 712 came around, the only thing left, which he didn't even know would necessarily make it there, was going to be Russ, right? Yep. It's early, but on that turn, I guess if you can't trade out, I could see what he's doing. We need to get back to the other screen here, and let's get to a super chat from Simon Joseph. He's on the clock, buddy. Let's see what we got here. Let's do this. I'm on the clock. Pick 907, 12-team Superflex, start 10 lineup. I've got Burrow, Deshaun, and Cousins. He's got Tyreek, Ayuk, Michael Pittman Jr., DK, Pickens, and Njoku plus 225 first. Okay. Last remaining decent quarterback, 6 point per passing touchdown. It's Geno, Russ, Carr, and Rodgers. Do I break the running back seal? Swift, Najee, B-Rob, Aaron Jones, Warren, Eckler, Pollard, Henry, Connor, safe to wait.
Got 3 already.
Yeah, wide receiver depth. Kupp, Amari, Keenan, Christian Watson, Deontay, Hollywood, second tight end, Goddard, Mayer, Komet. I don't think you said, what's the tight end premium if we're even considering tight ends here? I would have to think it's got to be pretty good. And also, are we starting 2 tight ends? No. If I'm not starting 2 tight ends, I'm definitely not taking a tight end, even if the tight end premium is pretty decent, I don't think.
I don't care.
You already got Njoku. I think I'm completely passing on tight end. I think I'm passing on running back. I think it comes down to receiver and quarterback. And, Mike, since I already have 3 QBs, I'm probably leaning receiver at this point. What do you think?
I like running back or wide receiver here.
Okay. So of the running backs, let's just discuss this.
Yep. Wow.
Wait a minute. He's on it's a 907. Wow. Swift is very, very surprising to be that late, in my opinion. Actually, no, it's not that crazy because that was exactly the pick that he went in ours, 907. Just feels crazy late. If I'm taking one, I think it'd be Swift. What do you think here?
Swift, Najee, Aaron Jones.
In that order? Yeah, I agree with you.
The Najee Warren thing is going to be really interesting with Arthur Smith there in the house.
I was going to say all these Warren guys are going to be, I feel like aren't going to love potentially what Arthur could be doing.
Could be like Henry and Tajay Spears-esque right from this past year where you're like, get him the ball. Nope, Derrick Henry. So
yeah,
Najee definitely comes into play. I love Swift, though, so Swift or Najee for me. And if you're going to stick, you don't really like running backs, you don't want to break it already, and you think, hey, one of these guys might come back to me later. Taking a wide receiver depth, Kupp or Amari for me right off the bat would be the two that I would consider.
Yeah,
Amari first, then Kupp.
By the way, to that Najee point, real quick, for a lot of people, it's like Warren's clearly the better back. Can't you see the efficiency, all this stuff? Listen, if you think that's the case, all right, I want you to understand that Bijan Robinson got less touches than Tyler Algier. So if you think that it's about talent for this man, you are outside your goddamn mind. All right,
you don't care. You
don't give a damn. Mike, when push comes to shove here, DeAndre Swift versus Amari Cooper versus Keenan Allen versus Cooper Kupp. It's about right, though. Like, these values are right. I think for me, I'm either going to take Amari Cooper or I'm going to take DeAndre Swift.
He's already got Deshaun Watson, too. Pencil it in as a starting quarterback, so the Amari thing does make a lot of sense.
I think Amari's the pick for me, frankly. Let me just look at this team real quick again just to make sure I'm not tripping here. Yeah.
It's a full point tight end premium start one, though. But you already took Njoku, so
you already got Njoku.
That's how I play it.
I think the Browns stack too, by the way, right? If you're gonna have Watson, why not have both Njoku and Cooper that could pop and actually matter? You know,
the only two weapons that fucking matter on that team. Period.
That's it, right? I like that, and you see the elf in the background, so call me biased. That's fine.
I think you kind of talked me into it. I think I'm gonna take Amari, and then I'm gonna wait and see what comes back in the 10th for running back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at ours, by the way, right? In the 10th round, I know it's not as sexy as Swift necessarily, but like, Warren's there, Najee's there, Kamara's there in ours. And then, you could really, it's a lot crustier, but the 11th round even poses Aaron Jones in our league in the draft we just took, right? So, like, I think given the difference between a Swift and those guys, I'm comfortable waiting. And I think Amari, like what I'm seeing, Mike, is Keenan you might be able to get next round, but I think the fall off really starts to happen from like a guy like Amari who could give you high warp, or even if Cooper Kupp was your flavor, right? I think he could give you one more possible run of really high warp if he's healthy. So yeah, Swift and Amari are the what people in the chat are saying. So I hope that helps, Simon. Go ahead and take Amari, man. Lean into the Cleveland thing.
Amari. Yep.
All right, Mike. Let's get to questions that have been waiting on us. Loaded squad, your favorite. 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 8. I've got an offer to send Bijan for the 101. Should I do it? I'm already super wide receiver heavy with CD, Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Higgins, Debo. Can only start 4 wide receivers. Thoughts? Yes.
I can see a scenario where you don't want to, but I just do it. I do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I think that you give me CD, you give me Marv, right? I want those 2 guys, and then not that these other ones are bad, but I'll backfill with my combination here, and I can try to find a way to move off of a Waddle, a Higgins, and still get running back production. It's not going to be Bijan. I'm not going to act like that's you can just replace him, but
it might be close to Bijan though.
That's what I'm gonna. That's exactly. Thank you, Mike. Took the words out of my mouth. Thank you. Damn it. I love that you're on the same page with me.
We'll have close to it.
We'll have our fighting later. I'm
it's
sure.
Cheaper.
But yeah, I think you can find a difference in running back. You can get a Kyron. You can find a way to get a Pacheco, an ETN type for a lot different price wise. So, all right, 12 team Superflex, Mike's favorite. Start 10 PPR, 0.75 tight end premium, 6 for passing touchdown and -2 for the pick. I imagine that's what that is. I got T-Law, Love, Young, A.J. Brown, Ayuk. He's got Terry McLaurin, Jacoby Myers. He's got no running backs, Kincaid, and the 102, highly likely to be Marvin Harrison Jr. I got the 108, the 205, 225 first after a startup. How to approach the offseason, and can I contend?
There's a possibility, right? Not having running backs ain't a bad thing, like we just talked about. You can find some. You can find some discount bargain bin fucking shoppers and fill holes. It's easy.
Yeah, lineup start 10.
Easy to do.
I don't think it's a big problem. No.
You don't have a lot of hammers though at the wide receiver. A.J. Brown and Ayuk and Terry, like them. Myers is more of a depth piece though in start 10, which is like spot start territory at best.
Correct.
If you got spot start Myers, you're kind of like, fuck.
Now, but what if he has Marvin Harrison all of a sudden in that mix at the 102?
Now you add Marv. Now you're doing pretty well.
Right.
I don't like the T-Law thing. We talked about that a little bit. I'm not a big fucking T-Law guy, so that'd definitely be somebody I'd be looking at moving. I love the Jordan Love part, though. And then
Bryce, we both
108.
like Bryce at quarterback 3, to be honest with you, right?
Just for the value. Yep. So you can contend. Just don't sell yourself. Don't sell these assets, the ones that are good. Your 102, the 108, 205, those 25 first. Don't push them in like right away, okay? Like hold on to them, let them build value, especially those 25 first, because after the rookie draft, people are like, oh, okay, my team sucks, so I need some 25 first, and I see people trade them low all the time, and then all of a sudden you're not holding them. Keep those fuckers in season, right? Yeah. Get to in season, week 6, 7, 8, you get close to your trade deadline, and you're like, okay, I figured out the running backs. I found some dudes off waivers. You know, I got some dudes in a down tier from T-Law or whatever to another quarterback. I'm doing okay. Now maybe I push in for fucking hammers, right?
Yeah.
That's when you leverage those. So you're in a good spot, and I don't hate this. So how I approach the offseason, just very patient and very methodical.
Yeah, I think with the team like this, you've given yourself flexibility this offseason, which I do like. To Mike's point, right, like the T-Law thing, I definitely prefer not to have T-Law be my quarterback 1. I mean, you can go back and find receipts and me defending T-Law. I was really more so just saying that, you know, we need to give more time for him to be bad. He wasn't good enough this year for me to feel comfortable as quarterback 1. At the same time, T-Law and Jordan Love, I think, is good enough if you have A.J. Brown returns to his form, right? And Ayuk is still a top 12 receiver. And Marvin Harrison, I think it can happen. I think right now, this offseason, what's so great for you is you can look at a multitude of trades in different ways. If people decide to come get your youth and are offering you more vets, you could lock that in at the right time. You can wait until the draft, and you can take Marvin Harrison Jr., you can take a guy like Brian Thomas, you can take what's valued at the 108, you could maybe even get a running back possibly at that 205 spot. All offseason, I'm just really playing the value game. I'm trying to find ways to make trades with the flexibility you've built up here to add as much value, kind of making 4D chess moves. And then what I'll say is once you have done that, you do that until the startup or the start of the season. And then at the start of the season, I'm kind of being a little flexible. Like I'd like to obviously contend as long as you still have the pieces to see what happens. If you're in the mix, now those 225 firsts, you can you know where they are if they're late, mid, early. You can decide if you want to push them in and if it's the right thing to do. But what I would strongly suggest doing with this team is not pushing those 225 firsts in unless the deal is literally just entirely too good to pass up. It better be a home run slam dunk if you move them now. Because I think this team, while it's nice, it has the ability also to go the other way, where you're not a playoff team. So,
yeah,
I want to be flexible for the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season. Kind of get a feel for my team. Have I avoided injuries? Is my team really in the mix in this league? And then I'll push those 25 chips in if I need to after that.
Yep, I'm with you. Same page.
All right, what's a good wide receiver to target for either Najee or Mixon? Goodness.
Who the fuck's going around these guys?
I mean, maybe Godwin, maybe Terry, maybe Deontay.
Well, let's just go over to old Keep Trade Cut here and just see where they fucking hate Najee Harris at.
I mean, Najee, Mike, frankly, though, is going later than Mixon by a bit in our last one. I'll pull up South Harmon's ADP, too, while we're at it here.
Okay. Well, there's still some wide receivers I'd much rather have than Najee. Even below him on Keep Trade Cup.
Let's label it out. Label it out. What do we got?
Deontay.
Okay.
His teammate.
Yeah, that's what I said. Deontay. I'll take Deontay. Yep.
Calvin Ridley.
I still probably would take Calvin Ridley. They went literally back-to-back picks in our startup for the record. So they're probably it's probably a move you could make potentially.
Yeah. End of list. That was fast. We got down into shitty territory real fucking fast, man.
I'm looking and I don't. Where is he? Where is Najee Harris on our startup ADP? I'm trying to find him.
Gotta be late, man. Look around the 9th, 10th round.
Okay, there he is, 904. So, I mean, there's no way you're getting the 112 for him. If you could, that's 100%. I would take that. Literally, when I look at what's that?
Amari Cooper, maybe.
Yeah, he's one pick ahead in startup ADP. If you could do that, so Amari Cooper, yes, I'd take it. What about Christian Kirk? Would you take Christian Kirk?
Yeah, I'd take Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. What about Keenan Allen? Would you take Keenan Allen?
Pass.
Deontay, you already said you'd take Deontay, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the only one in the mix that I'm not sure really I would take. Actually, I'd probably rather keep Najee. Josh Downs.
Oh, Najee. Fuck
Agreed.
Downs.
I mean, I'm just saying that Downs is going like right in the range of him. He's actually going ahead of Keenan Allen and Deontay in startups for the record.
That's wild. I like Josh Downs too. Like
what about JMO?
I was a fan of him coming out, but no. No.
What about Romeo Dubs?
No.
What about your boy Hollywood?
That's a potential because he could end up in a hyperbole Kansas City situation and everybody loses their shit.
Now, and let me go to one last crusty one.
50-50.
So Hollywood's a possibility. What about Jacoby Myers?
No, I'd rather have Najee.
I agree.
like Myers.
I agree with you.
Myers is a buy for me, but I'd rather have Najee in that situation.
I agree.
Same for Mixon. So just lump them in together. I put those dudes right next to each other, back to back. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
And I'm the goose. Thoughts on T.J. Hawkinson? This could be a whole show.
He's right behind me. He's staring at me over here. This finger.
Yeah, right in the middle there. 38. You know.
There he is.
Yeah,
there he is.
Yeah.
Big sell, huge sell, massive sell. Get off him. Panic meter. Hit the button. Fucking Jim Cramer. Sell.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to do a new video on a new platform, and I think T.J. Hawkins is going to make the list of people I'm talking about. I'll just say it this way. First and foremost, right, at the 1.5 tight end premium in a 12-team league, it's not of importance enough for me to care about the position, like to hold someone, you know?
Yep.
T.J. Hawkinson just frankly had a very, very late in-season injury, and that already is concerning enough for me. But then, yeah, well, that's what I said. Injury period, like a season ender, like if it was just simply an ACL, I'm already probably concerned. Then it's a multi-ligament injury, Mike. We did this with Godwin, for those that don't remember 2 years ago. And we saw how that kind of turned out. He did not bounce back like everyone thought. And this is nothing against T.J. Hawkinson, the player. I think maybe, next season I'd be willing to buy when the price is dipped, potentially. But there's no way I'm holding T.J. Hawkinson right now if I can trade for the values that Keep Trade Cut or, ADPs are telling you. Like right now, T.J. Hawkinson is going in the range that's not that far behind a Trey McBride. He's going ahead of guys like Rashee Rice, Drake London, T. Higgins, JSN, all kinds of these 24 picks. Like I'd probably take the 110 straight up for T.J. Hawkinson in this format.
I was going to say any first. You can have T.J. Hawkinson, and I'll buy back later. I love him to death. I think he's fantastic. You saw what he did in Minnesota. He was awesome.
Yep.
He's still ranked as like tight end 3. Keep Trade Cut says he's more valuable than a mid 24 first. Like that is fucking asinine to me. TJ Hawkinson or even Brock Bowers, who I'm not like a big fan of for value in these tight end premium leagues. Fuck, I'll take Brock Bowers in a heartbeat. So Roma Dunze, I'll take him in a heartbeat. JJ McCarthy, I'll take any of these mid first. So I'm really on the board, any first. You even give me a 25 first, that's fine. I'll take the liquidity now. and then buy back in TJ Hawkinson in fucking early October when he hasn't even played or come off the PUP list yet, or when he first returns to the field, you get that little bump and everybody's excited, and then you figure out that, oh man, still working back from an ACL, doesn't look the greatest, right? Some contenders pushing for the playoffs and goes, fuck. Hey, what will you give me? Well, you know, there's my chance to get TJ Hawkinson, and I'll send you this 25 first back, but, you know, like, I'm going to get something really fucking good from your team, right? Some superstar quarterback that got injured. So that's kind of where I want to go.
All right, so 2-round dispersal for an orphan. There is a snake. I pick second. Key players: Jordan Love, Herbert, Amon-Ra Chase. Herbert went 1. I have the next 2 picks. What should I do? So if he said Herbert's gone, right? Okay, so Amon-Ra
dispersal for
Amon-Ra and Chase.
Only 2 rounds. Okay.
I mean, Mike, I don't. It's Amon-Ra and Chase, no?
Yeah, I just fuck those quarterbacks.
I mean, well, there's 4 people here that like. I'm taking both those receivers over Jordan Love, regardless of any of that in 12 teams. Right? It's just no way.
Jordan Love's a pretty big riser, though, for a lot of people. Eric and I had that conversation, and it seemed crazy because I had the rookies ranked, and he did not. So he's like, I have Love at 9, and you got him at 16. Why are you so low? And I'm like, well, there's 3 fucking rookies above him. So
that puts him
in reality, we're only 4 spots off. Like,
yeah. Listen, this is nothing against Jordan Love. I have eaten my fucking words. I've taken my shit. I'm not hating on Jordan Love. But there's just a massive difference, in my opinion, personally, on Jordan Love and these 2 receivers. Because Jordan Love's looked great. I'm not trying to act like he still couldn't be a top 10 quarterback. He looked very good.
Right.
And they're going to be, getting better, all more in unison this year. But, Mike, you're talking about, in my opinion, wide receivers, however you want to put it, 2 top 4 receivers. There's no way I'm passing on that. And they're both young.
Yeah, I just take the 2 receivers.
There's no way. I think there's a strong case to be made, possibly for Chase ahead of Herbert, even. So, like, I was
going to say that anyways. I thought he was going to have the first pick. I'm like, Chase.
I'm just happily taking, all right, you want Herbert? Here's your Jordan Love too, and then I'll take these 2 receivers, and we'll call it a day.
Yep. That's fine. I'll figure out quarterback later.
Scribbles is coming hot and heavy. What's more valuable for a rebuilder? DJ Moore, potentially early 25 first. Definitely early 25 first. If potential. If it's early 25 first, I'll take the early 25 first. Probably even potential, man, if I'm being honest, on a rebuilder.
Yeah, I'd rather run the risk and take the bet of landing an early 25 first than DJ Moore. And I love DJ Moore. I do. You told me it was just DJ Moore or a random, more than likely a contenders, 25 first. I'll take DJ Moore. But you tell me it's got a potential to be early, all of a sudden my little ears, my beard hairs start tingling, and I go, ooh, hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, DJ Moore. Pack your shit. Get off my team.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore, like, it feels like we push back, Mike, right, on the DJ Moore hate, but it's, for me, the last 2 years, if I can get myself into an early pick, I would do that almost on any build. Actually, I would do that. I would do that on any build. Yeah.
Here's the biggest downside of DJ Moore: we spend years fighting for the man, right? Finally realize it, and now he's 27.
The crazy part is it's like, man, but he still could have another 3 years.
A year or 2. Yeah, could.
I mean, I definitely project him to have another 2, and then the third is probably being a little greedy. You still hope. But Mike, if he gets a guy like Caleb throwing the football, why can't he still have another couple very good seasons? But on a rebuilder, I'm cashing out for a potential early first. Like, I know the class is the value, but you're not going to get better than that. You're just not. So
and there's a few wide receivers in that class where you go, okay. And you can see them stepping in and being more valuable than DJ Moore from fucking jump. No question. DJ's got a tough climb, right? Yeah. Finally made it back up and where people respect him, but the age is always going to work against him. So all these guys, Neighbors, Adunze, Marv, like they come in, they're already above him. 25 is going to be the same thing, right? Luther Burden's going to come in above him, more than likely. Evan Stewart, maybe Emeka Buka, like these kind of guys are automatically just going to Sorry, DJ. You're 28 at this point. You're dead.
Yeah. I mean, I hate when I don't have anything else to add. I'd like to come with something. But, all right, Sean W. says 12-team Superflex start 10, 1.5 tight end premium. It's a lineup league. We got Allen, Kyler, Watson, Brees, Achane as the running backs. We got Lamb, Nico, Addison, London, Reed, Pitts, and Otten. I have the 102, 108, 202, 205, 6, and 7. Would you send London and 108 for Gibbs? 101 is Caleb. Nah.
No chance.
First of all, you already kind of have, in my opinion, like I'm going to take Gibbs ahead of Brees, but you already have a very Gibbs-like asset in Brees Hall, and you have Achane. Like I'm good. I'm good on running back like already here in a lineup start 10. Like I don't need to go get Gibbs, and London for me is already a guy I'm kind of more excited for this year. Given what your wide receiver room is, you could make a strong case he's at least wide receiver 3 on your team. Yep. Even if Nico stays balling with CJ. So, and then at 108, Mike, you're talking about, you get a guy, you get that next tier, right? The guy after Rome at receiver in this class, or possibly one of these quarterbacks slips through the cracks. I doubt it, but maybe a guy like Brock Bowers hangs around. Probably not, but you're talking about 2 really good receivers, very likely at least at 108. I'll take that over Gibbs here in this format, especially given how you're built, right? Right now you have Lamb, Nico, Addison, London, Reed. So you've got 5 receivers. I have no problem just making my whole team now have 6. I'm looking to start 4 or 5 every week, and I'm good.
Yep, no chance I do this. London, Gibbs, close. Obviously, Gibbs, Adam.
Definitely.
I'm with agreement with it. I'll take Gibbs.
What about 202? Would you send your 202 in London for Gibbs?
That's more of a conversation, but I really like the 202. It'd be more like 205 and Drake London for your Gibbs. And if you don't like it, then fuck off.
I think I'm just going to say the 202 in London is the most. If you were like dead set on really doing this, like if Gibbs is your guy, you want to go get him. 202 is the most I could like afford to really come off of in the picks that you currently have, and it'd probably be too pricey for me. But I'm not gonna be mad at you if you do that, right? Because you still do have the 205, 6, and 7 to shoot your shots, but there's no way I can get behind anything past that, frankly, right? Like there's just no way. I like London too much, man. I really do. So
big fan.
Call me crazy. Call me freaking crazy, man.
Flag planner right there.
Right. We got Timothy. I don't know if this is a good or bad. It's just an interesting. He's kind of jocking my JSN pick at 411. I guess it is interesting. Please, indulge.
Tell him he's an idiot.
Let me know. Yeah, you don't have to like hesitate. If you think it's good, tell me it's good. If you think it's shitty, I promise you'll be the last, the last to hurt my feelings.
There was 2 guys potentially that you took JSN before that I think maybe might be in the conversation.
Okay. Here,
Devontae
you want me to pull? Here, let's pull it up.
Devontae Smith and Jordan Addison, maybe.
Here, let me hold on. Let me pull this comment back up. I'll never run from the hate, by the way. In case you
as
guys
far as
wanted
wide
to know.
receivers. Ooh,
right,
look, I'm on the clock. Mohawk. Nope, never mind.
Say it again, Mike. Sorry, I had to get the
Devontae Smith, and maybe Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I still definitely put JSN ahead of Addison personally.
Me too. What about Smitty though?
Smitty was one of these things, Mike, where it's like, again, with the way I want to draft, right? Like JSN, I feel like the way he finished the season, Pete Carroll moving on, him playing, as well as he did in spurts down the stretch and starting to show what people were excited for. I feel like that's very enticing and keeps me very fluid to trade with a lot of people. Devontae Smith kind of feels like, Mike, and this is going to sound crazy because he's not that old, but he is like just behind, but kind of in that same mold with DJ Moore. I feel like we already know what he is. He doesn't like offer that crazy allure to somebody, if that makes sense in a trade. I felt like if I took him, it wasn't that it wasn't a consideration for me, but I felt like it was probably going to be someone I end up holding and not moving, where kind of the idea behind this whole build was to like take real exciting young pieces that could even to a contender feel like they're trading for a stud, but also really appeal to everybody in my league. That's what I try to do for the most part the first 7 rounds, is just stay really flexible. I felt JSN posed that most.
I mean, we're seeing Jalen Hurts at QE7 on Keep Trade Cut. We're seeing him slip to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th in some of these fucking startups.
Right.
You talked about A.J. Brown slipping. Like, damn, that felt like a value. Like, we're disrespecting him. It's a trickle-down effect, man. The way the season ended for the Eagles, the bad taste left in people's mouths. The hiring of Kellen Moore isn't enough to overcome that right now. So, I'm kind of with you. Like, as far as what people want and gravitate to, it's going to be the upside of JSN, especially if, like, something were to happen with Lockett in this offseason.
Well, I'm kind of
go or moved or whatever. And Lockett had a
this was Lockett's
Tyler Lockett year, right? It was
the crazy part is if you told me like before the season this year that if you gave us Lockett's stat line like guaranteed in red pen, you and I would be like, oh shit, JSN popped off.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So to me though,
he didn't pop off till like towards the end
later,
of the year.
right?
Then he really started doing stuff.
I will say Keep Trade Cut, Mike, is lower than I anticipated they would be. JSN is wide receiver 21, which by the way puts him below. Listen to how many rookies there are: Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, and obviously going to be Puka's got to be and Puka. So that puts him is that wide receiver 6 in the class? Wow. Maybe I
want to buy in.
Maybe I'm too bullish.
I want to buy into Tank Dell, but people make it fucking hard for me to do with these kind of ranks. Like, I just fucking can't.
Mike, is there any chance, like, and from a portfolio perspective, we could talk about the lab later, but you can go check the lab. Like, I'm honest with you right now. Anybody here listening, if I have a Tank Dell share and you have a JSN share, I promise you, send the trade and it's done. Mike, is there any scenarios where you don't take the JSN versus Tank Dell?
No, none.
Okay.
Zero.
Right. I just wanted to make sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well,
maybe I'm the one that's fucking crazy.
I'll take Jordan Addison before I take Tank Dell.
Jordan Addison or JSN?
That one's more of a conversation, but I'm with you with the JSN thing.
Zay Flowers or JSN?
Fuck. Oh. Now you're making it really tough.
I mean, because these picks went one apart from each other, right? They're literally 410, 411 in this startup.
I'm gonna go JSN.
Boy, that's my guy, man.
That's
my guy. All right. Let's see here. Let's get to some of these newer questions, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Sutton? No.
I like him, but no.
I have no idea what that was even in regards to.
Najee or Sutton? How about that?
Najee, for me.
Yeah, with you too.
Oh no, we already did that question. Okay. Let's see here. Actually, Mike, here we go. Same league as before. Would you send Herbert for 106, 107, and a 25-1?
That was the best ball league, right?
Pretty sure. Let me scroll up.
This was the first super chat we got. Trevor hammered it. I'm pretty sure it was the best ball league. I'm not that drunk.
It's 12 team 11. This is gone, right?
Pack your shit, Justin.
Well, Mike, here's the main reason I say that too, right?
Get
If you remember, and I'll pull it up because he had 101, 103, 105. So now you get 106 and 107. Like, I basically force everybody's hand, and I got that extra first and 25.
Fuck out.
Get out.
You out.
Get out. That's that gift though. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it is. I was also gonna go with Key and Peele.
There
Take
you
your
go.
ass down to Oshag Hennessy's office.
Now we're talking.
Ooh. Oshag Hennessy's office. Did you mean Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Ooh. Okay. Here we go. Got this team I tore down. Lamar, Deshaun, Gibbs, Addison. Plug holes with J-Mo, Elijah Moore, and Otten. I'll be honest. Not a big fan of plugging holes in general, but J-Mo.
I'm a big fan of plugging holes.
I know. I saw your ex banter with Shane.
Shane.
Let's say
that's my guy. BFFs forever.
I haven't had enough to drink for that. Anyway, 103, 104, 107, 202, 207, 212, 12 team Superflex PPR start, 10 lineup. Am I just making the picks?
This is the all you got on your squad. Yeah.
I would say not necessarily. I would say more than likely. Now, the reason I say that is I'm probably with a build that's this torn down. Like, if you're telling me legitimately your fourth best player is Jamison Williams, Elijah Moore, and Otten, like, I'm considering the deconsolidation. I'm considering spreading these fuckers out in the future. Like, if someone's willing to give me 3 firsts or something for some of these.
Like a little trade down action.
Yeah.
Like give me a 25 first, and I'll go from the 103 to the 109.
I'm telling you, like, if somebody out there was like really willing to push in chips and they had the picks, like if someone's gonna send me their 25, their 26, and they have an extra 25 around, I'll probably even be willing to do stuff like that. The reason I say that though is I'm probably making these picks, but if someone's coming to you with like legit offers to push this out, I'm okay with that. You got a lot to do with this team, man, if those are your 4 best pieces. Like, if you just make these picks, just understand, like, let's say they all were to hit, too. Let's just say these names hit. Let's pretend. Let's say 103, you get Daniels. Let's say 104, you get Neighbors. Let's say 107, you get Rome or Brock. And 202, you keep going. Like, dude, you're at still now, in a start 10, you don't even have a team. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of work to do here, Simon. So for me, when I'm to the point where if I look at these and I project that they all were to hit, and I'm still like maybe not even having a starting roster that's legit, I'm thinking strong about like I need to fucking multiply. Yeah,
my team's really dog shit. I'm gonna figure this out somehow. And I need to multiply assets. But
the caveat would be, Simon, if you're listening to me here, what you're not showing me is like you have like picked over 25 and you have some 26 picks, then yes, you're definitely making these picks. If that's the case.
But you don't have a choice, right? There's nobody to fucking trade down and fleece for their future.
Very, very few probably trade partners for that anyway. So yeah, I'm with you. But
yeah, you're
probably making the picks, but I'm telling you, I would be definitely looking to take packages if I can. Speaking of plugging holes, taking packages. Good God, pause. He's a 0 this year, but could return really well in 25. Take it for what it's worth. Sell now, buy this time next year. I think he's talking about Hawk here. Yeah, he is.
He is. He's just, listen, I love you,
He's a doctor, right?
I love you to death. You're my guy. But I said the same shit 2 weeks ago. But everybody in Discord wants to know your fucking opinion. Nobody asked me mine, even though I did it on a fucking podcast.
Mike, had you gone to physical therapy school and gotten yourself a DPT,
God damn it.
They'd be asking you. But they also are like, wait a minute. This guy told me to fucking sell Brock Purdy. I don't know if I even care if he was a doctor,
That's true. Red Eye Jedi still holds a grudge to this day.
Red Eye, are you still counting the viewers, by the way? I see 80. I don't know if that's good or bad. Tell us.
We're pretty trash, right? We need all the engagement we can get. Thank you, Red Eye Jedi.
Come on, Red Eye. Come back, man. We need you.
And you know
We're
how
screwed.
I started with the Twitter drama? Like, it's just the fucking internet, man. I like to have fun with him. He trolls us. I troll him right back.
Oh, yes. Flowosaurus, man. All right. Ba-bow.
Remember when I called him Flowersaurus back in the day? Like a fucking idiot. My bad. I apologize.
It's okay. I mean, it's not actually okay, but I'm going to pretend like it's okay. He gave us a $15 super chat. It's obviously okay for him. So it's okay. It's okay for me.
Flowersaurus put this in here. Right?
Oh, you know what? He didn't. This is Canadian.
Oh, well, it's still the same thing.
I'm
eventually,
just fucking around.
Right? I don't know what Canada conversion rate is, but I was thinking, who the fuck is Benzito? Anybody got an answer? Like, think about that, chat. Let me know who the fuck Benzito is. Something with an Eminem diss track, but I had no idea who the fuck he is. All right, get to the question. Flowosaurus made me think of Benzito.
All right, Flowosaurus. 12-team Superflex, start 10. PPR, no tight end premium at all. Oh, forget them tight ends then.
None.
Stroud, Russ, Carr. What a combo. Gibbs, A-Chain, Hunt. Chase, Amon-Ra, Puka, AJB. I love the receivers. Lockett, Komet, Juan, Shun. You can honestly just forgo like them tight ends at all. You're playing A-Warp tight end life till you die in this league. No picks until 2026. Trash RBs and QBs. Are you looking to snag a pick or coast into 24 competing?
Hashtag run it back.
I think with the receivers you have, you kind of have to. I'll say this, man, Mike, with this Stroud thing, with where it is, tell me if I'm crazy here with this idea. Like, can I trade Stroud for like Murray and something legit?
Man,
I think that's the way, if you were going to do anything with this team, that you're going to really get the value. And I know you probably hate hearing that because you're like, damn. But let's keep it a buck with your team, right? Like right now, you're already basically telling us you know the story. Like, fuck, man, I kind of overplayed my hand here, right? And like, do I just rip this thing to shreds or do I keep it going? The best way to keep this thing going and run it back is, I think, to get off of Stroud for somebody that could give you legit value. Like, honestly, maybe even to Dak. Like, go into that type of a range where you could get legitimate pluses back. And the value from CJ Stroud versus Dak in a 1 year warped difference might not be anything.
Oh, we're like the breakup here. Mind meld. Stroud, biggest piece. Next, though, Gibbs, HN. Those are the two guys where I would look to down tier because I can find similar production and get hefty pluses added to them, right? And I'm going to run this fucker back, right? Like, example with your Stroud. I love it. Go down to Murray in a first, if that's a possibility. Dak in a first.
Dak in a first. And if the Love, Murray, and Dak owners especially are willing to play ball for Stroud, I think that's such a easy way to get it done. Yeah.
Right. You get the first, and then you could take the first, and you can either buy depth pieces if you like. You could draft them if you want to be a little bit on the youthful side, like to kind of backfill. Or what I like to do is like, man, all right, say it was Murray in a first, hypothetically. Right, just speaking. Hypothetically, Murray in a mid first in this class, or a late first. Who gives a shit?
The mid is where first. Yeah.
I take that, and then like I go shop. I go shop at the QB2 spot, and I go like, could I upgrade Russ or Carr with that first? Like, what does that give me? And if it's not anything reasonable, then I go and I look at the running back. Like,
Source, we got the lab here. I'm gonna do some digging for you. So give me your sleeper name and then the league name. We're gonna do a little digging to help you find this. $15, even though it's Canadian, and we'll overlook that part so that we can help you with the lab. All right. Give us your league name and give us the. Is it Flowosaurus? Is that your sleeper name?
Could be not.
Let's try that. Let's see what it gives us.
Maybe it's Benzito. Benzino.
User not found. Okay, so we need
Fuck.
We need your sleeper name first. We're hoping this is on sleeper and not.
Nobody answered my question about Benzito either. Like, so that must but not be like anybody who fucking matters. Good to know.
Great to know. Let's see.
Wait,
Flowosaurus is the username. Really? All right. Maybe I typed it in wrong. I probably typed it in as Flowosaurus.
You probably did.
That's totally my bad, by the way.
How the turntables?
There you go. By the way, yes, I totally mistyped this in there. Fuck yeah. All right. Hurts feeling. All right, let's do this, Mike.
I got Hurts feeling.
Oh, all right, easy. Okay, so let's just do some digging on this, Mike. I don't know if you want to pull it up too, but what I'm looking for is I'm going to talk about this on my next solo podcast, which will be dropping this weekend. Using this tool, because what I'm looking to do here is look at your league mates and see who has. All right, wow, there are some teams that are really bad at quarterback. You got to be kidding me. Okay, here we go. This guy. So here you go. This guy already has Joe Burrow and he has Jordan Love. So like, I don't know what he has. Can you see picks on this, Mike? Yeah, he does not have a 24
Scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. Yep. We don't no 24 there.
Jacob, the master of the lab, has got us.
Let's see, where else are our quarterbacks at?
You're looking at that, and I'm looking at CJ Stroud trades. Just
there you go.
General.
We're doing the tag team here. Let's do this.
I still wonder how the fuck this got done.
What do we got?
Guy traded away CJ Stroud. He got Josh Allen and the 110.
What?
I don't want to put fucking things into your brain, but it's a real fucking trade.
We're not going to really entertain that. That's just complete ridiculous.
That's not real life, is it?
I mean, if there is, come on, stop, man. You know?
Listen, we just talked about how much I hate Trevor Lawrence, Adam. But there's a CJ Stroud for
Oh,
Trevor
Mike,
Lawrence.
this is the one.
Firsts.
This is the one I would love to get the most. Okay.
All right,
So there's a guy in your league, Sadlink. All right. So he already has Lamar, right? So just think about this. He's got Lamar. He's got a pretty solid team here. He also has Dak. Could you entertain this guy who has a lot of crusties, right? He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got Amari. He doesn't seem – maybe he does because he does have his 107 still. But he doesn't have a bunch of picks. He got rid of his second. He got rid of his third. Very, very, age heavy. Can you get him to give you Dak and 107? And if not, do you have something on your team that you can add into it, right? This is the play, I think, man, with this team.
That's what I do.
So I'm looking at your team.
107 to tier up, or I'm going hey, give me fucking Rome, give me Brock Bowers, give me somebody fucking exciting. I can move here later.
Yes, I'm trying to think, man. Realistically, can I interest you in? Man, you don't really have a lot. Can Tyler Lockett, Kareem Hunt? Can I add something like this to get it done, just to start off? See if he's playing ball, if he's interested in any way, shape, or form. Because if you can get that type of a deal done, man, I think that's perfect for you with this team. Because you need to get that down tier at quarterback. I think that's probably the first place I'm trying.
Yep. And then if you get that done, then go try some shit with Gibbs.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Gibbs is another one that I'd like. I could see holding him and having that one hero, but what I don't think you need to have is, given your lack of depth at quarterback and at running back, I don't think you need to have both of those studs. I understand that maybe you can't trade Achane for as much as you once could, but even if you end up with those two in the start of the year, those are two pieces that I'm probably, off of spike weeks. I mean, we know with Achane, this guy could go for RB1 week of 50 points. It might be a good time to consider trading out because you can basically just on the waiver wire backfill a bunch of running backs constantly and just see if you can get one of those in.
I love it too. And Adam can tell you for a fact too, Florosaurus, how many leagues I won with all my picks fucking leveraged, gone till God knows whenever. And this year, nobody let me rebuild. That was the ideal thing. Hey, I fucking won. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Got some money. I want to rebuild now. And everybody said, fuck you. So I just said, okay, we're running this bitch back. And then, Adam, how many of those leagues did I repeat it? Now we're back-to-back fucking champs.
How fun was that for you? You made me play. Go for it again. Well, fuck you guys. How about another W?
Why don't I just play the next 15 fucking years of this league for free? Sounds great.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. This is
it's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, it is.
It's good to be king.
Anyway, I think that's probably. I didn't find who has Kyler in this league? Damn it! Come on. Oh, here it is. Kyler, and he's got nothing else at quarterback, so that might be a tougher sell. I would still try it though. I would try there first, Dak and 107, and then I'm going to the Kyler manager. I'm seeing what I can get packaged there. I think that's a good place for you to start. Come back, let us know. By the way, man, deep dive. Appreciate the. I was just going to say the 15, although Canadian. You can come back next week and we'll follow up. But the 10, we'll just consider that you already gave us your super chat for next week, my guy. So we appreciate you, man. Is the big brain move to send a fourth or a fifth for QJ?
I hate fucking doing this.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear them crickets? Mike was he don't know what he wants to say because he knows on both ways it could be bad. Look at this.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, let me just say at a fifth price point, kind of who gives a fuck? Sure. Now a fourth, here's my thing. The fourth is the difference for me in the fourth and the fifth is basically this, Mike. It's just I don't really want to buy any. I'm basically process at this point of what I consider a face planner, which QJ is going to fall in. I'm just good on buying. I know a fourth doesn't really mean much, by the way, but
let me ask you this though: the difference between best ball and lineup.
Yeah,
I would not buy him in a lineup because he's literally just fucking up a roster spot for me that I could, pick up some random fucking running back off of waivers and, oh shit, look, I found Kyron Williams. Cool, right? Lineup league, doesn't fucking matter. Best ball league? Okay. I talked myself into it. I'll send a force for QJ.
I'll be honest with you. If I'm doing this, which I already told you I'm not. The fifth, like if you just wanted to, fine. Like, here's my thing. If I'm doing this, it's with the idea of if there is some value coming out of him at some point, the start of the next season. Like I'm just trying to basically cash out on my low investment and maybe get a third, maybe get a second. Probably ain't getting a second, but whatever. I'm trying to like basically flip this pick into something better or a player that's more reasonable. To your point, Mike, in lineup, he's probably not likely to ever really matter for me. In best ball, maybe there's a chance where he's a guy that gives you what? Gosh, why can I not? Not Josh Palmer, the other guy that's giving you a couple, and frickin' the Chargers. He's giving you a couple pop weeks. I can't think of his name.
Jalen Guyton.
Guyton, thank you. Thank you. Jalen Guyton.
Catchy,
yeah.
buff.
Yeah. That's what you're trading for, though, right? Would you trade a fourth for Jalen Guyton?
In season.
Exactly. So my point is, like, in best ball, it's a little more appealing, but that's like what I'm projecting. It's like maybe Guyton type stuff. It's QJ really fits if you just look at face planners, man, and you see what they typically do. It's not pretty, man. There are some that hit. It's just I'm not willing to bet on it. Fifth round, I have no problem with it. At that point, it's super, super cheap. Fourth, man, you never know. In this class, like, we've seen some fourth round picks that actually hit.
The only face planter I can remember, like smashing, like coming out and being worth something, was Devontae Adams. That's like the only example I have.
And you know how long ago that is now? That's 10 years ago now, isn't it?
That's fucking forever ago. But Sky Moore, Jalen Reagor, all these dudes are just
Shoddy
fucking
B.
dusty. Fucking Rashad B. Elijah Moore.
Bro, it's literally like it's like getting a death sentence, man.
It's the who's who. He's only key trade cut wide receiver 51. I thought it'd be lower.
I mean, yeah.
So it'd be lower.
If you want to, really cheap, go ahead. The reason I'm doing it is to hope to sell, and I don't know that ever happens.
Here's a great one though. You don't like this fucking guy either. I tried to talk you into possibly buying him.
Well, I don't like
Quentin Johnson or Jonathan Mingo.
No.
No, this motherfucker just said you gotta give an answer.
Yeah, the answer is I'm not buying either. I refuse to purchase either. If you told me I'm like
Johnson or Marvin Mims.
If you told me that those two are on the clock and I have to pick one in a draft, I'm taking Mingo. But
what about Marvin Mims?
Reluctantly. No. I'll take Mims, but no. No.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think overall the problem with the trade up, like it used to be, Mike, that you could basically with name retention trade Sky Moore and trade. I feel like the community as a whole is not going to let you continually do that as they get sharper, right? So that's my thing.
Yeah. I think everybody's getting better at this face planner shit. Just going, no, we're good. Fuck you.
Well, it's because over. You just kind of went over it, Mike. It's pretty inarguable. It's not like, hey, it's this split thing as far as the results go.
It's kind of weird though, because like I see people hyping up Marvin Mims as like a fucking buy in the offseason. He was objectively worse than Quentin Johnston. What the fuck are we doing? He was really good at punt returns. Like I want him in the IDP league where I get a lot of return yards. He'd be all right. Hey, on a plus note though, hey, QJ was better than Sky Moore was in his rookie year. Does that make you feel any better? No.
No.
Fucking ass.
I love this. Jacob says, is Mingo still alive? Well, it depends on who you ask.
I got it. I'm buying fucking Jonathan Mingo, son. Late third.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes. I'm stupid.
Bargustus,
don't follow me.
We appreciate you. I mean, I'll be honest with you. How about this? Relatively new to the stream. You guys are fucking awesome. Steve, I just, even though you nicely put the, you bleeped it out, I emphasized it. 12 team.
I don't think we have moderation on this fucking chat either, too. So, like, shit gets wild. That's why we had sex bots in here for a while. So,
do you think that's why?
What happened? I don't know what happened if you type the actual F word.
I think people got pretty upset about some of the stuff Mike was saying, and they're like, hey, like you could send, a group of religious people to someone's door just to kind of mess with them. Like, I feel like that's what was happening with the sex bots. They're like, listen, let's see if we get these in on the South Harmon AMA,
Hey, what up, girl? How you doing?
Oh no!
I like to plug holes.
Steve, we appreciate it, man. All right, sent 111 and 206 and got ETN. Do I have buyer's remorse?
Nah, that's fair. Nah, I don't mind that.
That's about right. I would say, like, I'll definitely take ETN over the 111. The only thing about the 206 is like you could have a scenario to get two actual decent players in this draft. But I think this is about what it's probably going to cost to get ETN. And let me ask you this, Mike. Do you think, because when you go north of ETN, like, do you think is there someone that you think realistically ahead of ETN this could get you? I don't. I think that's why I'm probably okay.
No, I'm good. And he balled the fuck out last year. And what was objectively a bad fucking offense with Trevor Lawrence at the helm.
No, what I'm saying is, like, there's not a running back ahead of ETN, let's say, that I could purchase for this price point. Like,
a late first and a mid second, that's tough.
I agree.
Not.
That's why I'm saying that I think I'm good at this, because ETN still could, as far as points per game, give you hammer stuff. So,
and it's a start 10. It's a start 10, right? If this was fucking start 13, 14, best ball league, nah. Give me the picks, but I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all.
I love it. Here's Steve, my guy.
See, he did it, Steve. Yeah. Doesn't even get banned.
We're glad you, as Fizzle would say, we're glad you're here today. This is, exactly. I mean,
we just ask you keep it, rated R. Let's not go rated X.
Right. Well, Mike will do that without you, so we don't need any.
I don't go rated X. I don't get butt naked or anything.
I've heard allegedly. A lot of, potential of
it's just
this.
Been threats.
And there's also Mike has urinated on the floor during a stream once many moons ago, right?
What? Don't test me.
Don't test me. I'm not trying to. Blind says, I think Mims can bounce back. Well, hold on. Bounce back though. Like, I know what you mean probably by in terms of value, but bounce back to me means like we saw something from him and we can get that again. We have not seen anything from this guy really outside of a couple catches in one game.
He was worse than QJ.
Yeah, Mims. The problem, like Mims, you'd argue, oh well, if he got more opportunities, but he didn't, right? Like, why would he get him this coming up year? It's not like they were littered with all this wide receiver talent. It's Cortland Sutton and no one else. So,
you remember Brandon Johnson playing Little Jordan Humphrey?
Little Jordan,
studs.
Little Jordan.
Little Jordan.
It's Little Jordan. At least put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
All right, yo Harmon. Let's get a couple questions and then we'll get Mike up out of here. We've been out here. Holy shit, over an hour and a half, dude. Every time, over 90 minutes. I'm honestly shocked. I shouldn't be.
Stop looking at the clock.
Yo Harmon, I snagged May Daniels Rome in the 105 to 107. Stop. You got Daniels in the 105
and May.
It's 12 team, brother. What?
And May.
All right, I don't see a question because you don't. There shouldn't be a question here.
Mystic out here just flexing.
They needed quarterback too. Don't know what they were thinking. I have Hurts, Burrow, May, Daniels. What? They're trying to buy your QBs. They should be. And you know what you say? Yesterday's price is not today's price.
I like his name, Mystic Flame too, because it reminds me of Mystical. You guys remember that guy, that rapper? Speaking of rapping.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Shake your ass.
Watch yourself. Show me what you're working with.
That's what you hit him with, Mystic.
I thought I told y'all to do this before. Can't mess with me.
Exactly what he say. We can't say that part.
Well, that's why I said it that way, okay? Mike's talking about R, man. Not X. All right.
My man. That's why I go with Denzel, my man.
Mr. B, 12 team Superflex, 1.75 sign and premium start, 11 best ball. Coming off a title, should I trade Olave plus Gibson plus 302 for the 106 and the 110? Olave 106 I'm good with. Basically the 110, like, I think I would. Yeah.
As a whole, entirety of the deal. Olave or the 106, you can have an argument either way. Olave or Dunze. I prefer Olave, completely honest, but Dunze is pretty awesome, right? Or whoever that wide receiver 3-ish is going to be.
I mean,
that's a reason.
The 106 to
the
me
110, even in best ball, the 110 for Gibson and the 302 is
it's simple. This is actually pretty simple because the way I look at it, Mike, is like if you see that one that was just ahead of this, if you fuck up if you guys let me get a quarterback at 106, it's easy. Right? It's the Catalina fucking wine mixer. But assuming it's Rome, right? You give me Rome from Olave. I'd take Olave, but Rome to me is probably going to go not that far behind, if at all. And then you give me the 110 versus Gibson and 302. Stop it, Mr. B.
Yep, coming off a title. Thank you for the gift. That's why you got that title in the first place.
You see, Mike, you guys wanting to send fourths and fifths. Even a guy that's blind saw that QJ was straight up sorry as fuck, all right?
Blind out here defending Marvin Mims versus
I love
QJ
this. Daniel Walker says more content. Mike can stay. Come on, man. I already knocked on the door. Mom said you can play for a little bit more. Come on. Stop playing. Mike's got to get up early. 12-team Superflex start 10. Half tight end premium. This will be the last one, man. This will be the last one as much as everyone's clamoring. If I want to have this next week, I got to get Mike at home before bedtime. So 12-team Superflex, trade 104 for Pittman, Hubbard, and a 25 first, or hold until draft. Don't need QB. Not sure if that's enough. 104 versus Pittman. I'll take 104. A 25 first in Pittman, though, Mike. Is this here's the question I have. The person that's giving you, like, is this the 104, the team that has the 104 right now? Are you getting their 25 first? If that's the case, and it's kind of worth betting against, I think I'm on board. If it's like one of these teams that 25 first is, obviously anything can happen, but if it doesn't look like a team to bet against, I might just hold that 104 right now because of the value.
This is like fucking deal or no deal, and I'm gonna go with no deal, son. Come see me at draft time. Eat a dick.
Yeah. If this 25 first is like one of these, it's like juicy, real juicy.
Yeah, if this guy's ass.
Mike likes to plug holes, so he'll take that combo there. But
if this is one of those guys you make fun of in your league chat on a regular because you can never win, then fuck yeah, fuck that guy.
If it's a guy you've been betting against for years, like Sean 12, and he eventually bails, I want that fucking first, But
imagine that. Shot.
Papillon. The guy lives like 10 minutes from me, Wadsworth, Ohio, but he's still a cuck.
Pull up to the fucking shit school at the expo. We're gonna have an octagon. We're gonna settle some beefs. All right?
I got news for you.
No more Twitter bullshit. We got this.
You can bring the whole city. We're gonna be deep at that expo. You ain't gonna want any parts of that. So that's all I got, man. This was a fun one, honestly. This was a fun one.
Yes.
Flowsaurus.
Just wait till we get Alan on to fucking explain why the fuck he drafts Mayfield.
We will. That's going to have to be a couple weeks from now. Speaking of which, we'll see you back here, same time, same place next week with D-Bro to talk the Senior Bowl. Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck.
Lock it in. D-Bro's coming in.
Oh, fuck. You set your calendars, set the alarms. Adam, get that fucking stream posted. And, you guys know to tune in. Let's go.
Let's just say next week's going to be a big one. We love you. We'll see you back here. Same time, same place. We out of this thing. Peace.